Just do the next right thing, Elsa says to herself as she trudges through the Northland and works to save her sister and her kingdom in Frozen 2. Perhaps you've seen the movie. And this has become sort of a popular saying after that movie, just do the next right thing. And it's good, but it's incomplete. We're going to talk about why it's incomplete. And it's basically this. We don't always know what the true right thing is. We think we can see what the right thing is, but then it doesn't always turn out that way. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's easy to know what the right thing is. But a lot of times it's not easy to know what the right thing is. That's the problem with trying to live by this rule. So if you just try to live by that rule, you're going to make mistakes. Ask me how I know. I've made this mistake more than I can possibly remember. Thinking I was doing the right thing and watching it turn out badly. To put it mildly, in some cases. Some cases are worse than others. Some cases are not that bad. But I've done this so many times. So many times. I'll share one with you. Because people like personal experience, right? And like my friend Matt, he told me, he said, hey, Jesse, you should share more of your experiences on here. So here you go. Here's one. So one time I was in front of my house. Well, I had a mobile home in Reno. And I was loading something in the truck. And I had my brother helping me. Some furniture. And I hear this crash from next door. And I hear the neighbors arguing, guy and his wife. And I can't see, but I hear him yelling, and I hear a big crash. So I think, trying to be all manly and studly, right, and do the right thing, I'm like, hey, are you hitting her? Right, because I was young and full of zeal. And so what happens? He comes running out, comes straight for me, fist swinging, right? So my brother tries to stop him. My brother gets hurt. Some of his friends jump in, and, you know, you can figure out the rest. It was not a good scene. Turns out he was not hitting her, and I had to go back and apologize, right? But because I thought I was doing the right, noble, just thing, I screwed it all up, right? Now, how do you truly know what the right thing is? That's what we need to know, okay? In this principle, what I'm talking about in this video, there has to be a way to actually truly know what the right thing is, because there's so many factors that we just can't see. That's where Jesus comes in. He can see them all. Okay? God the Father, Yahweh, their Spirit. They know what the right thing is. Okay? This principle got its start, this principle of thinking we know the right thing, but not doing the right thing, started way back with what? The story in the garden where they partook of what? The knowledge of good and evil instead of living in a relationship with God. It's really simple, right? They were in a relationship with God in which he was helping them to always do the right thing. My guess is it was longer than a few literal days, but who knows? It's just my opinion. Please don't call me a heretic. But anyways, they were living in relationship with God, and then they left it for what? What'd they leave it for? A piece of fruit? The knowledge of good and evil. That was the name of the fruit, name of the tree that had fruit, right? What is that? The knowledge of good and evil. So if you think about it, it's the same principle. If I'm not living in a relationship with God, then I'm doing what? I'm living by what? My own knowledge of good and evil, my own ability to figure stuff out. That's the principle taught to us there in Genesis 3. That's the point of that story. So when you're just living in your own knowledge and your own ability and your own strength and your own, I know what's right. I can figure it out. Right? Tom Petty. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life. And you can stand me up at the gates of hell and I won't back down. Right, Tom Petty? He was adopting this attitude. He knew what was right. And it's not just Tom Petty, it's billions of people in the world. They all know what's right based off of what? The knowledge of good and evil. Instead of doing what? Living in a loving relationship with God. And what happens? Well, look at the world. When you do, anybody, I don't mean to preach to you specifically, I mean you generally. When you do that, you inevitably do things wrong that you think are right. I have had this happen so many times. So many times I thought I knew what the right thing was and turned out not to be the right thing. So many times. Worse than the example I gave you. Worse than that, I won't even tell you. And it's just after a while you go, okay, you just sit down and you go, okay, Lord, I really don't know what's right. You know what's right. You tell me what's right. And I'm just going to do what you tell me to do. After banging your head against the wall so many times because you think you know what's right and not getting it right, you're like, okay, Lord, you tell me what's right. And then when he starts to tell you what's right, you'll start to get it right. Okay? This principle is illustrated other places in the Bible. You can... There's a psalm that says, I don't know exactly where it is. It says, I will instruct you in the way you should... Who is the man who fears the Lord? He will instruct him in the way that he should choose. Okay? I memorized that one a long time ago. I'm still learning to do it, right? Because I used to mix my own zeal, my own religious fervor and zeal with trying to do that. And I've finally given up on the religious fervor and zeal on my own. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm just going to live completely in that relationship with you. And I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do. That's the key. If you want to actually do things right, you have to do that. Otherwise, you'll just do a lot of things that you think are right, and you'll find out later at some point that they weren't right. Thanks, and have a great day.